Can we just give last 4 minutes or 3 minutes to your friends to join in the class? I would request everyone to call up your friends and ask them to join the class. So, Sayed, would you like to share with the class why you joined late today? Peter?
Madam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for replying. So, were you caught up with some work or
Sorry?
so were you caught up with some work or something else? Why did you join class late today?
Why I joined class late today?
Yes.
Actually, I was kind of busy with work, so that's why.
Okay. So I would request everyone to ask your friends to join in class really quick. It's already 4:10 right now, and we are already late for the class. So I would request everyone to call up or message your friends and ask them to join the class soon. In a minute, we are going to start the class, and today's class is really interesting, and it's not as other class. It's here in this class, you guys will get chance today to speak much. So, and it's going to be really fun and really helpful for you guys. So, I request everyone to ask your friends to join the class. One more minute, and then we are going to start with our class. Hi, so am I audible? Real yes or no in chat would help. Am I audible to everyone? Guys, if you need to be a little interactive, or else this session would be of waste, and today's class is really interesting. So I request everyone to be active and leave everything else and pay attention here for 2 hours, because today's class will really help you a lot in future. So are you guys ready for today's class? A thumbs up in the chat group would help. A thumbs up saying that yes, we are ready for today's class. I'll start. So any emoji, whichever emoji you feel, you can put up in the chat group. I want to see if you all are attentive and in today's class. So any emoji you want, you can just drop it in the chat. Let's see if you guys are ready for today's class. So I'll start dropping a emoji first, and then you all can choose an emoji. Thank you, Peter. Everyone else, are you ready for today's class? Okay, thank you. So, starting with nice, nice. So, a real yes or no in the chat group. Are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the reply. So, in today's class, let's find out what we are going to learn. First is storytelling, picture describing, and story completion. So basically in today's class we are going to learn how to share a story, or how to, yeah, because whenever we start any conversation and we are having a small talk with anyone, that by default have a story in it. Let it be like what you did throughout yesterday, or how summer vacations. If you want to say something, it has a small story inside that conversation. So let's learn today that how we are gonna how what all qualities or what all characteristics you need to have for an story to, so that the a person who is listening, it needs to be interesting and that person pays attention. So before we start with today's topic, I'm gonna say a small story first, and then let's see you guys take out what all faults I did and what all what are the goods which I spoke throughout the story. So once we complete the whole session, you have to tell what were the minus point of my story and what were the plus point of my story. So is this clear, guys? We are going to start with our class today. So a quick yes or no in the chat would really help. Are you guys ready to hear a story? And okay, it's clear. So you have to be little attentive. I will make some mistake on purpose. So you have to find out what were the mistakes I made in the story and what were the plus points. So at at the end, you have to tell me. Okay, so Jimmy just said, kindly repeat what you said. So again, today we are going to learn how to tell a story. So we are starting today's class and I'm going to share a story. You guys have to observe at the end of the session, when you learn how to narrate a story, everything, you have to tell what all mistakes I made and what all were the plus points over here. So you have to be a little attentive, listen to my story. It's based on my life itself. So it's based on my life. This story is based on my life, and I have given title to my story as passion. So you all have to listen carefully. At the end, plus and minus points, you guys need to tell me what are the mistakes I made as well. So quick yes or no in the chat. Are we ready to start with the story? Everyone are clear? Anyone has any doubt? And today's class is going to be really interesting. It's going to help you a lot. And today's class is based on where you guys speak and I will listen. So quick yes or no in the chat group would help. Are we ready to learn today's lesson and hear out the story? Okay, thank you so much for the replies. So the title of my story is Passion. So going back to the age when I was in college and where I was in school. So I'm going to start the story from that time. So when I was in school, I was not that interested in studies at all. I was the person who used to be like, oh my God, should we even study for exams? I don't want to study. I was that type of a person. But as I got some maturity, as I got to know about world, I got to know that we need to get good marks to get in good college. So I studied my heart. I studied like at 2 o'clock at the night. I was studying, and at my 10th we have a boards over here. In 10th standard I scored 97 percentage, which was a shock for me as well, because I was someone who used to be like just pass student. I used to be like, okay, 35, 40%. And I, at my 10th standard, we have boards over here, I got 97%. So I myself, I was in shock. But there I had passion, which a passion to get into a good college. So that led to good percentage. And then I studied and I'm like, okay, finding the college where I wanted admission, I got my admission. So, and in the college also, I studied well. And here we have a college named Mount Carmel College, which is very popular, and I studied in that college. And after my studies, I got placed in the world's big four company. It's an audit company. If I'm not sure if you guys would have heard about it. It comes under big four company, which is named as KPMG. So I got placed in KPMG. I worked there. When I started, I remember it was my first day, and I cried because this was my dream to work in a big company, to, work, to learn more things, I was really passionate about, meeting new people, learning new skills. And I was like, finally I'm getting to do what I really like. And I was very happy. First day I went to office, and I learned so many things. I was not sure about writing an email as well, but I learned everything. And it was really fun journey. It was a dream come true moment for me, because I never imagined. I was the first child in our family who got a job. And who worked on herself and got a job without any help. And it was a proud moment. Again, the passion of having identity for self that dragged me over there. And I worked there for 2 years. And then I was like, Saloni, this is my, so I was just speaking to myself, and I was like, Saloni, this is not what I want to do for next 5 years. So next 5 years, I don't want to see myself as a audit associate, or I don't want to see myself working under someone else and following someone else rules and orders. I wanted to do something of my own. So again, passionate about doing something of my own. And I decided to grow my own startup. So I have my own startup, which is a gifting solution company. We named Tickle of Ecstasy. So I am a co-founder of a startup company as well, which is named as Tickle of Ecstasy, a gifting company. So when I started this venture, I was handling both the job and startup. So I was balancing them both. And I was like, okay, fine, this is something. Day by day, I realized that I'm not liking a corporate job, and I want to work on my startup. And I spoke with my family. I'm like, I'm going to put down my papers. I don't want to work at corporate, and I don't want to be a corporate slave. So then everyone said, are you out of your mind? Why do you want to quit a secured job? You have a job, and you have a salary at the end of the month. And in a startup, you're not sure. It depends on your sales and your performance. So it's not sure that you're going to get that money. But at the corporate life, at office and a job, you are sure. So everyone said, don't quit your job, and this just pursue your higher education, finish your higher education. You're going to get a promotion and everything. I was like, I excelled at my corporate job as well. I got a at first 4 months, I got a Rising Star Award, which is for a new joiners. Whose our performance is really good and above the mark, they get this type of award. So I got that award as well. It wasn't like I didn't like that work and I didn't know what that work is, but it's just that I didn't want to work under someone else, like under someone else, and be like follow their orders. So I was again passionate to work for myself, be my own boss. Then finally, after struggling with making the decision, going against my parents, my friends, my everyone, my colleague, even my manager said, "Don't be so out of your mind. You're doing good at your work. You got Rising Star Award. You are excelling at work. Don't leave your job." But even after all those things, I quit my job, and I'm working full time as an in my startup, which is a gifting business. Again, passionate about this. And whatever goals I had set for my startup, I'm achieving that, and everyone now are saying me, you made a good decision of quitting your job. So again, whenever I have a choice, I always followed my passion, and that has always led to a fruitful thing. So I have my startup, and I work full time over there now. And later on, I was like, okay, fine, startup is something I'm gonna settle to, but I always like teaching. So during my college periods, I used to take tuitions and I used to teach students. So I always like teachings, and I wanted to, again pursue something in teaching career as well. So here I am, ended up, where I like to speak with students, give them, good advice, what life is. And I really like talking also, and, teaching young students of guiding them towards their goal. So here again I'm working as a part-time lecturer also, and my end goal over here is giving a TED talk someday. So that's again my passion of teaching here. So whatever I have done, it's always for my passion. Let it be office, corporate job, startup, or teaching. So I would, like to tell you guys also that always follow your passion. When you like doing something and you do that, your life will be much happier and much simpler. So this is my story about passion. Thank you so much for hearing this. So I hope everyone heard this story, because this is gonna help you in the further slides, further topics as well. So this was my story. Anyone, any doubts until here? You can drop a message or chat on chat if you have any doubts until here. Slide. I'm gonna turn into next slide. We are 24 students now. I hope everyone are with me. So today's class is on storytelling. So is this story clear? Was this story clear to everyone, or it went above the head? I want a quick yes or no. I like your happiness. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you so much. So are we clear? Everyone else? So whatever you have passion for will definitely come easy for you. Yeah, thank you so much if you work hard. Thank you. Thank you everyone. So are we clear till here? Can I move on next slide? Anyone has any doubts? Today's class is really going to be interesting. There are very new factors which you're going to learn today. So please be attentive. Any doubts in this story? Anyone wants to ask anything? It's not like where I speak, and if you have any doubts, you can put attendance link. Yes, I'm going to put in middle of the class. Peter, thank you. Attendance list link I will put in between the class. No doubt for me. Okay, thank you so much. So we're gonna turn into next slide. So points to be noted. So now I have given you a story. Let's learn what are the few points which we need to keep in mind when we are saying a story. So point number one, choose a clear central message. So now I had a message which was on, which was based on my what to say, on my passion. So I was clear in my mind the topic is passion, and I draw out few points from my life which is connected to passion. So throughout the story, if you observed, passion was something which came again and again. I started the story with passion, I gave an introduction, then went middle, and then I ended also. So the throughout the story it was about passion, and it's like there should be some twist, and I was like, I left the office and what happened next. So some twist and some suspense, and so throughout the story it was like I kept a hook for you guys to keep listening to. So but ma'am, I think you can't always follow your passion. But we'll talk about this at the end of the session. about not following your passion. So we'll talk about this moment definitely. Let's stick back to points to be remembered. So you, whenever you say a story, have a clear message in your head. Next is have a clear structure as well. So, I didn't end up saying about my startup life before. So, it had a clear structure. First was school, college, then it was about my work life, leaving my job, and then startup, and then lecture. So it had a flow. I didn't say about I am giving lecture, and then I said about school, and then I'm saying. So I didn't break up that rhythm. Have a clear structure of, and there's something known as beginning, middle, end. So there are three. This rule you have to follow: beginning, middle, and end. You can't start the story with middle and mix up like that. It's gonna create a chaos and confusion. So whenever you narrate a story, ensure that there's some beginning, then there's a middle, and then when you end, give a conclusion as well. So they should be correct. Jimmy, you are really that's nice. Having the sequence of events, and then next, have a clear, if you in your mind, if you have various things, you're gonna speak blabber things. So have a clear structure in your head. Engage your audience. So it shouldn't be like you're just speaking, and you're not giving some information, you're not giving some emotions to your story. So whenever you say a story, you need to have emotions in that, have a message in that, have a information, something that the audience keep listening to you. It's not like you're just speaking, and it's just a waste of time. Always make sure you make a hand movement, or when you're speaking, just don't be like there's an, if you're just in a straight position and just speaking, you are not going to attract the audience. So have emotions, consider what your audience is, have that type of topic. So these are the 3 points: have a clear structure, have a clear image, and engage your audience. So these three are the points which you need to keep in mind. Any doubt until here? You guys have any doubt? These are the 3 points which you need to remember when you are narrating a story. Quick yes or no in chat would really help. You guys have any doubt about what are the things you need to keep in mind before saying a story? A quick yes or no would really help. If you guys don't reply, I'm not gonna clear. Peter says clear. Thank you, Peter. Anyone else? No doubt, ma'am. Thank you. Anyone else has any doubt? It's, if you don't ask, you might have any doubt. You would have tried saying story but didn't work out. So any doubt, if you have, this is the time you can ask. There is no right or wrong question. No doubt, ma'am. Okay. So moving forward, I'm gonna play a video, and that video also says about storytelling. Please let me know if you have any doubts, or if you're not able to see the screen or anything like that. Everyone, are you able to see the screen? Any doubt? Guys, a yes or no? Okay, Peter says yes. Cool. So everyone, did you learn something from this video? So this video was a picture describing. When you see a picture and this is an activity where you see a picture and you have to say what the story is. So with this intention, this video was there. So anyone has any doubt and did you get what it was in this video? Like anyone wants me to repeat this video again or didn't understand or have any doubts? Whatever your opinions are, please put up in the chat. I'm gonna read and I'll answer that. Who all didn't understand? Who all did understand the video? Like what the message which this video was trying to say? Was it confusing? Was it too fast? Did you what did you? I didn't. No doubt, I didn't understand. Okay, thank you for your honesty. I didn't get the message. Okay, Mohammed also has the same opinion. So I'm gonna repeat what was said in this story. What was said in this video. So going back, it was too fast. Okay, okay. I'm gonna slow it down and say it again. So tips for writing good picture story. How do you tell a story seeing a picture? Look at all the pictures and describe the exactly. So now they are going to show up. Okay, so now they have shown 1, 2, 3, 4 images over here. One is a ship, then a shark, then a light house, and then a couple. So these are 4 pictures in front of us, and seeing these 4 pictures, we have to tell a story. So is it clear now? Seeing these 4 pictures, we have to make a story. There's no right or wrong story. When I see this story, I might have a different opinion. When you see this pictures, you might have a different opinion. So basically, this activity is where, because the next slide I am going to put up pictures. You guys have to bring up a story. So let me know if you have any doubts. Stop me if I'm too fast. So these 4 pictures we have to see. So first one is ship, second is shark, third is lighthouse, and fourth is a couple. So seeing these 4 pictures, I have to make a story. This is the whole point. Are we clear till here? A quick yes or no. Trust me, if you didn't understand even now, if you have any doubts, I'm going to repeat. So anyone has any doubt? Is it clear? Clear? Yes. Okay, fine. So we seeing these 4 pictures, we have to make a story. The whole point is here. So now how can we make a story? Ship. There's a ocean and then there's a shark. So far away, once upon a time, you can start the story like this. Once upon a time, a couple was traveling in a ship, and when they were, so I the first point is traveling in a ship. I have kept that as a character, as a scene, that first scene, they're traveling in a ship. So that a couple, once upon a time, a couple wanted to get married, and then they were traveling in a ship. When they were traveling in a ship, they far away came a shark. So I'm trying to connect the first picture with the second picture, ship and then shark. So the shark was coming near the ship and they called out for the help. Far away, there was a lighthouse and people came to rescue them. And then so are you getting the point? It's just like seeing the pictures and we have to make a story, start connecting them. So this is my opinion, saying that they were traveling in a ship and they came a shark, they called for help, people came from the lighthouse, and then happily they got married. So this is my story and this is how. So basically it's like you have to start connecting the scenes, the pictures, and then you have to put a story. Also, try giving it a title. So here we can say accident, but with a happy end. So how in this video they have given that. And when you are saying a story, you need to make sure that you use active verbs, not passive. So you have to use active verbs. So anyone has any doubt? This was the message which this video wanted to give. So anyone has any doubt over here? If you have doubt, you can still put up a message saying that, ma'am, it's not clear. Everyone are aware of active verbs, or active verbs is something you want me to brush up on? If you don't know the meaning of active verbs, this is the time, because I can teach you that, but later on it will be difficult for you, because when you are saying a story, it's very important that we use active verbs. Clear? Yes, ma'am. Okay, fine. So anyone else? I can see only 3 people typing out in the chat group. Me, I don't know. Yes, okay. Okay, I'm going to brush up on active verbs as well. So I am just seeing 3 people who are really brave and typing out the messages in chat. I want everyone else to participate as well. Active verbs will come in your exams as well. It's going to be, you can score marks over here. You can have MCQs on active verbs. So let's try to learn what active verbs are. So there are 2 types. Verbs is something action. Who all have doubts on the meaning of verb? Okay, I want everyone to type out what the meaning of verb in the chat. According to you, what do you think the meaning of verb is? Come on. I want some answers. What, according to you, is the meaning of verb? Okay, I don't know. That's really good. Except, the whole point of these sessions are that where you get a chance to learn. So if you be shy and you be like, I'm not gonna accept that, I don't know, it's just your loss. So be active over here and ask your doubts, get them clear. If you don't know anything, ask it out. So I want to know, if you know the meaning of verb, can you type out the meaning of verb in the chat? Can you write what the meaning of verb is in the chat for everyone? Verbs, verbs, verbs. A verb is a word that expresses an action. Really good. Peter, that's the exact answer. So what a verb is, meaning of verb? Verb meaning is a action word. Singing, skipping, sleeping, eating. All these words are what they say a action. Verb means to do any work. Yes, verb is an action word, correct. So in verb that says what a person is doing. So Saloni is teaching. So teaching over here is a verb. Peter is writing. Writing over here is a verb. Okay, Annie is sleeping. So sleeping over here is a verb. So verb, the word which shows action is known as verb. So any doubt, you guys have any doubt till what verb meaning is? All clear? Everyone are clear with the meaning of verb? Okay, so let's learn what active verbs are. And there are 2 types of verbs, active and passive. So active verbs are also known as action or dynamic words used to describe an action that a subject is performing. And passive verbs are the action's target is focused and the verb acts upon the subject. So let's see with few examples. For example, the butler murdered the detective. This, if the sentence is here, butler murdered the detective. So murdered word over here is an active word. The detective was murdered by the butler. So here in the first, if you see the subject over here is, the butler is the subject, and he was murdered by butler murdered the detective. Detective was murdered by butler. So these are the 2 types of sentences. In the first one, if you observe, the action is focused more. So the butler murdered the detective. So murdered word is focused more. In the passive verb, if you see, the detective was murdered by butler. The subject is given more importance. Detective over here has more higher weight over here, and here if you see murdering is has higher weight. So here the action has given the more importance, and here if you see the subject acts upon the verb. So I'll give two more examples and let's see if you have any doubts, you can ask. Ed must learn this lesson. So Ed should learn this lesson. The lesson must be learned by Ed. Everyone enjoyed the concert. The concert was enjoyed by everyone. So here enjoyed is given more important than in the passive, and in the active, and in the passive it's concert. So whenever you observe in the passive verbs, the subject is given more. The subject acts upon the verb. So any doubt in between what active and passive verbs are? Attendance link I'm gonna share. I'll share in between sometime. So are we clear with active and passive verbs? So whenever you say a story, you need to use active verbs like the butler murdered the detective. So be clear instead of giving. Okay, clear. Anyone has any doubts? It's okay if I will repeat this topic if you still have any confusion. Okay. So active and passive verbs. Going on to the next. So you have to so this is the everyone, ma'am, passive reply. Okay, replay. So passive verbs are where the subject is given the more importance, and where the subjects, the verbs acts upon the subject. So for example, over here, the detective was murdered by the butler. So the detective over here is the subject and that acts upon the verb. So detective was murdered by. Instead of saying the butler murdered the detective, it's like the subject comes first and then the verb. The lesson must be learnt by Ed. Lesson lesson is the subject. It's written first and then the verb comes. So here always the verbs will act upon the subject. The concert was enjoyed by everyone. So concert is the subject and enjoyed is the verb. So that first the subject, then the verb. The concert was enjoyed by everyone. So am I clear? Active and passive voice, any verbs, anyone has any doubt? Clear, okay. So now you have to write a story. I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes. In this 10 minutes, everyone, you have to write a story and seeing this image. Again, I have taught you how to connect the words, how to connect the scenes, how to connect the pictures. So what do you learn from this story? So here in this story, we know that Oliver is the is the boy's name. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. The time is 4:46, 4:57. 4:57, 4:57, we will be back. And everyone has to write a story and put your story in the chat. So everyone has to write a story seeing this picture. What do you understand? And you have to write your story in the chat. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. Anyone has any doubts until here? Any doubt? I'm giving you 10 minutes. You have to tell me a story from this picture. This will help you writing, help you with the storytelling. Anyone has any doubts until here? You have to be quick, guys. Quick yes or no in the chat will really help. Anyone has any doubts until here? Anyone has any doubts until here? I'm giving you 10 10 minutes. You have to write down the story and put into the chat. Clear? Okay, fine. We'll be back by 4:57, and attendance will be given on the basis of participation. I'm going to see out of 20 participants, how many messages, how many chat in the story we get. So what are we doing? So we are, this is the picture. You have to write a story from this picture. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So I'll increase I'm going to give you 10 minutes. In this 10 minutes, you have to write down the story and put that story in the chat. There are 19 to 20 participants. I'm going to see who all, put their story basis on that as well. That also is a factor for attendance. So 21 students now. So we are 21 in total. We'll be back by 4:50. Okay, we'll be back by 5 because I am going to give you, this is the first try for story. 5 o'clock we will be back and you have to type out your story in the chat. So Jackson, I think you joined late. To give you a gist of what's happening over here is there's a picture on your screen. You have to write a story based on these five pictures. So you have one more minute. I'm not sure. I think I can give you 5 minutes for this while everyone else are writing up this story. You can try finishing it in 5 minutes. You have to write a story saying these five pictures. Um, Everyone, do you guys need more time? It's 5 o'clock now. So let me see who replied first. Savrata, thank you for replying. You were the first person to reply. Uh, I'm gonna read out the story. What of one of your fellow mate wrote. So everyone, are we back first? Let me check that. Can I get a quick yes or no in the chat group? I have out of 22 participants, I have got only one reply. Trust me, this will affect your attendance as well because this class is not about just joining the class. It's more about the participation. I have got only one story till now. Are everyone back? Quick yes or no in the chat. Quick yes or no in the chat would really help. Are everyone back? I have seen only two people reply. I want to check if everyone are back. We have to write it. Yes, Mohammed. Obviously, that's the reason I gave you 10 minutes to write. You guys have to type your message in the chat. Whoever has joined late, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. I'm going to give you time till 5:05. You have to type your story in the chat. So let me tell you one story which your one of your students has written. Let me know if my pronunciation is not right, but Subratha, she has written the story, and only one student till now has. Umeja, I thought it's to speak. No, the speaking part comes later on. Peter, you have to type your story over here. So let me read out the story which Subrata has written. Thank you so much. Today, Oliver joined a football match, so Oliver and his father go to playground. Suddenly, their car disturbing middle point of the road. This time, Oliver discovers a plan and they see a bus. Oliver's father and Oliver ran in the road and catch the bus. Sometimes later, Oliver and Oliver's father come into the playground. Finally, Oliver joins the play and win. Thank you so much, Subrata, for typing out the story in the chat and really good, beautiful attempt to write the story. And I really appreciate that. Quick claps for Subrata. She is the one who has written the story. So, okay, we have got one more story written by Annie. Thank you so much for writing that as well. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Oliver who really liked playing football. One day, he prepared himself and his friends to go and play the match. They left the place, but unfortunately, on the way, they car their car broke down. They tried to fix it, but they failed. Instead, they had to run to their destination. When they reached luck, enough. Oliver managed to play and they won the match. Thank you, Annie. Really beautifully put up. Thank you so much for writing the story. There are only two people who have written the story, and there are 22 participants. I want to ask what everyone else were doing for those 10 minutes. Before, there are few things which I would like to say. Very beautifully put up, but once upon a time, the way you have started, once upon a time there was a boy. That's a really good thing, where you are establishing the scene. You can't just directly jump into. You have said there was once upon a time. Annie, really good. Thank you so much. Really good. And then you both have tried to connect the story with the second scene. So I will tell this. The story was written by Annie and Vibrata was really good. Only few things which I observed here was one, you have in the second image when you see the car broke down and Oliver remembers, he's recalling something. If you see, Oliver is recalling his coach saying that come on time, you have an important match. So you can add that point. And they ran towards the bus. That was one more point. Everything else was put up good. It's just that Oliver remembers his so saying to come on time, and he was afraid if he is late he would miss the opportunity to play. And then when he finally shows up, he plays well and he wins. So all over, it was a good attempt, really nice. I'm so impressed with Annie and Subrata. Good work. So, anyone has any doubt until here? A quick yes or no in the chat would really help. Anyone has any doubt? Anyone has any doubt until here? Picture describing? No doubts. Okay. So moving forward, there's one more picture which I'm gonna put up on the screen, and you have to write the story. And this time, I will call out the names, and you have to tell the story. You have to unmute yourself, and you have to tell the story. I might point out at anyone. So there are 22 participants. I hope this is clear for everyone. You guys have to write a story. No one will put that in the chat. I will ask you guys to unmute and you have to tell the story. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So is this clear to everyone? You guys, again, this is one more example for you guys. You guys have to, I'll give you 10 minutes. Again, you have to write down a story and I'll call out their names or type their names in the chat, and you have to tell the story. You have to unmute yourself and you have to tell the story. The time now is 5:07. 5:17 we will be back. 5:17 will be back, and you have to, I'll call out the names and you guys have you have to tell the story. A quick yes or no in the chat group will really help. Are we clear till now? You guys have to write the story. 5:17 I'm gonna ask you guys. I will call out 3 names or 4 names maybe, and you have to tell the story. A quick yes or no in the chat will help. Are we clear? Victor, nice try. We'll read the story at 5:17, giving you all time to write the story for this pictures. But we'll definitely read the story once we are back. Okay, so we are back. So let's see, we have got quite a few replies. Um, Victor, it was it was a set. Okay, but are we back? Quick yes or no in the chat would really help. Are everyone back? Do you guys need time? Is it the story is ready? Before we start with the story of Nick, we have few more replies on Oliver's story. So we'll have made a mistake. The story is not complete. It's okay. Don't worry, uh, Peter. So everyone are back. A quick yes or no in the chat would help. Before we start with the story of Nick, we have a few replies on story of Oliver. We're gonna brush up on that. But are we back? A quick yes or no. A quick yes or no would help. Are we back, guys? Okay, Peter says yes. What about everyone? Okay, fine. So we have a story. Muhammad has written the story. Once upon a time, really good, Muhammad, where the way you have started a young football player. So you have tried to give adjectives to Oliver. It's very nice. You are trying to, bring attention. Instead of saying Oliver, you have tried to, explain how Oliver is. Really good approach. Once upon a time, there was a young boy football player named Oliver. On the day of match, he went with his father to the game. Good observation and setting the story. On the way, their car broke down, and Oliver was afraid of missing the game. Then they quickly run to the nearest bus stop, took the bus, went. When they reached the trainer asked them why they were late. So they explained what happened, and he left. He let Oliver play. By the end, they won. I good, really good attempt. Very well explained in detail. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for attending those. Then a story, a child was coming from home and said goodbye, mother. Oh, nice. This is also a nice way to start the story. The child was going to play football. His father carried his or her child in his car. I think you need to use his. When they reach the middle of the journey, really nice, the way you have tried giving the detailings, where you have said when they reached the middle of the journey, their car was meeting by the problems, but both adapted to found the solution. How they reached in the place where they're playing football, where the playing football took place. The child and the father took the bus, which helped to cover up their journey. Then the child arrived to the ground of playing the football. After both was reached the place, the playing football was started. The child and his team had been scored won the match after they got the cup. Good, but I would suggest don't use hash and use two. I just stick to one word. Sport. They won the match. That would work. And then a few punctuations mistakes, but rest everything is good. When they reached middle of the journey, their car was meeting by problems. Instead of saying meetings by problems, you can just say their car broke. That word would be nice. Both adapted and found the solution for how they reached in the. So just few words over here and there, but then it's nice. We have to write this one also. Okay, fine. Then next, Annie. Okay, Nick, for the Nick one. For Nick one, I would not read out the stories. I'm gonna tell names, and they have to write. They have to tell the story. So, are we clear? So let me just check the participant list. I'm gonna call out the name and then you have to tell the story. So Kiru, I request you to please unmute and tell what you learned from this picture and what story is yours about Nick. Kiru, I would ask you to unmute. Kiru, I have even typed out your name in the chat. I would request you to please start with the story. Kiru, am I audible? If you don't reply now, I'm afraid you won't be able to get the attendance for this class. Kiru, am I audible? Okay, if Kiru is not replying, we can do Milimo. Milimo, can you start with the story? I'm typing out the name also in the chat group. Milimo, am I audible? Milimo, you can start the story of the Nick.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, can I start?
Okay, fine, you can start.
Okay. So, once upon a time, there was a young kind boy. So, on the morning of the young kind boy found a cat in front of his door. So he keep it and fed it out and give him some food, yeah, and some meat. So after a few hours, yeah, he want to find out the master of the cat. So he put some fish on the trees and all uh, and all of the part of the tree. So after some hours, there was a old woman, yeah, who see the fish and call the kind boy. So the kind boy keep the cat and give him to the old woman. So to thanks the kind boy for his goodness and everything, the old woman gave him a gift for thankfully.
Thank you. Really nice put up, Mohammed. I think you have really understood the topic and the story which you narrated now was really good. Thank you so much for attempting this. Really impressed. Kudos.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Anyone? Welcome. Anyone else wants to volunteer and tell the story? They can raise their hand. Anyone else wants to volunteer and tell the story? You can raise your hand and you'll get the opportunity of speaking. Here is where you can practice, speak and practice. This will help boost your confidence as well. So anyone else wants to start speaking on, pick up the story? Okay, fine. Then moving on to next slide. So this is a video just on story elements. Let's see this video.
Characters, setting, and events. When we read a story, there are four important questions. Characters, setting, and events. When we read a story, there are four important questions that we need to ask ourselves. Who, where, when, and what. I ask myself, who are the people, animals, or any make-believe creatures that are in the story? We call these setting of the story. What are the big moments in the story, or the action parts of the story? We call those moments the events. Let's listen together to this very short story and identify or find the characters, setting, and events. It was Sunday afternoon when Jenny and Daisy decided to go outside in their backyard to play. They decided to play hide and seek because it's their favorite game to play together. To know who the characters are in this short story, I asked myself, who is the story about? Of course, it's about Jenny and Daisy, so the characters are Jenny and Daisy. To know the setting of this short story, I asked myself where and when did it take place. I know that it took place in the backyard, and I know that it happened on a Sunday afternoon. So the setting is in the backyard on a Sunday afternoon. To know the events of the story, I asked myself, what was the action happening in the story? And I know that they were playing hide and seek. So that is the event of the story. Remember that characters, setting, and events are only just 3 parts that make up a good story. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.
So, did you guys learn something from this video? Anyone didn't understand or have any doubts or wants me to replay the video? If you want to watch this video again, I can replay it. Did you guys understand? You have any doubts? You didn't understand a topic, you didn't understand about characteristics or settings or events, you can ask me right now. Are we clear till now? Do you have any doubts? Oh, quick, yes or no would help me. I have just got one reply from Annie. Anyone else has any doubt or didn't understand or want me to replay the video? Okay, so I think one of your classmates has wants me to replay. So let's see the video again and try to understand.
Characters, setting, and events. When we read a story, there are 4 important questions that we need to ask ourselves. Who, where, when, and what. I asked myself, who are the people, animals, or any make-believe creatures that are in the story? We call
So are we clear now? So I would ask a question. What are the important elements in story? I want you guys to answer in the chat. What are the important elements to be remembered, to keep in mind when we are writing or narrating a story? What are the elements which we require while storytelling? Quick answers in the chat. Character, yes, that's one of the elements. And then events, right? That's one more element, correct? Francis, thank you so much for writing, telling the answers in the chat. Problem, okay. Characters, event, problem, then solution, okay, then so character, setting, events, problem, and solution. First is character, who we are going to speak about. So when I was telling my story, the character was Saloni, my name. I was the character. Setting the events, where and when. It was about my life. Next, events. Event was about my school, college, work, startup, and lecture. Problem, what were the problem I faced, and then what was the solution I gave. The problem was I wasn't feeling good working at the company. I wanted to start something on my own. The solution was I started my gifting company. So these are the five main elements, story elements, which you need to keep in mind. Character, the person you are going to speak about. Setting, events, problem, and solution. Are we clear till here? Anyone has any doubt? You can raise your hand, you can put it in chat, or you can even unmute and ask. Clear? Are we all clear with the elements of story? Anyone has any doubt, you are free to ask now. Clear? Okay. So now next is story completion activity. Over here, I am going to put up a story, and okay, so this is really interesting if you guys participate. It's so much fun. So for example, I'm gonna tell a sentence and I'll send list of names, or I'm gonna call out your name. Each person needs to continue the story by adding 2 or 3 sentences. And the first 3 people need to set the foundations, the setting of the story, and the last 3 people needs to conclude the story. For example, I'm gonna start the story by saying, once upon a time there was a. The second person whose our name I call out, they have to say there was a king and a queen, they had a lavish palace. And the third person, I'm going to call out their name, and you have to, add up, adding sentences and make it a whole story. So it's like everyone are participating, they're giving their 1 or 2 sentences, and then we can go ahead. Anyone has any doubt on this activity, or they are not clear about how this activity will go about? So I will tell a sentence, and then I'll call out name. You can just type out the next sentence, what you want to say in the chat. For example, if I say once upon a time there was a, and then I call out Peter's name. And then Peter can type out what he wants to, how he wants to continue the story. I say once upon a time there was a, and then Peter may write there was a king or a queen, and the story goes on. I'm gonna tell out the names, and you guys have to continue the story. I'm gonna send the attendance link. Don't worry, I have the link with me. But are we clear? Okay, it's better when we speak. But I think not everyone are comfortable speaking. So let's try with the text. And if you are comfortable with speaking, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. Are we clear? So shall I start the story? So I'll type out my first sentence and let's see. So my first phrase over here is one early morning. So my first phrase is one early morning. And then Peter, how would you like to continue the story? Peter, can you continue the story? I have started with saying one early morning. So I have started my first phrase is one early morning. Let's see what Peter comes up with. Peter says one early morning. Peter woke up and started training for his football match. Okay, nice, Peter. And Francis, I would like you to continue the story. And he says the weather was chilly. Okay, fine. Annie, can you continue? The story is now one early morning. Peter woke up and started training for his football match. The weather was chilly. Annie, I would request you to continue the story. Annie, yeah, continue the story. Your next line would be okay. Annie is thinking. Let's see how the story ends up and how the story turns. Really nice attempt, Peter and Francis. Let's give Annie some time and see what she writes. So Mohammed, here we are doing like I say a sentence and each one are trying to add on this sentence and make a story. So I started the story saying one early morning and then Peter said one early morning Peter woke up and started training for his football match. The weather was chilly. I had to tiptoe in search of my jacket. Okay, nice. And then Annie is gonna continue the story. Mohammed, I think it's clear now. It's like each one says one sentence and try to join the story. So I have said one early morning. Then Peter said Peter woke up and started training for his football match. The weather was chilly. I had to tiptoe in search for my jacket. So Peter is now searching for jacket. Let's see how Annie continues the story. Annie, we all are waiting. What's your next sentence? Annie? Okay, fine. Whoever wants to continue the story can type out their sentences. So I want to see how creative you guys can be. So now the last sentence is one early morning. Peter wakes up for the football match. The weather is chilly. He had to tip-top in search for his jacket to catch a warmth to my chest. Okay, so when we say I had to, I means you over here. So we have to use he instead of saying I because I would refer to you. Peter was very excited because he really likes playing football and had a vision of how it will be the actual day. Okay, nice. Yeah, we can't say I, we have to say Peter or he over here. Annie, really nice. And then who would like to continue the sentence, the story next? Despite the weather, Peter had a match in the afternoon. Okay, nice. So now the Peter has match in the afternoon. I want to see how the story would turn and how would we end. So we have started the story. We are somewhere in the middle of the story now. The starting foundation part is done. So I want to see how in middle or how does it turn. I will request everyone to participate over here. It will be real fun. So Peter has woke up. He has a football match. It's in afternoon. So now next, what happens? Waiting for your reply. Anyone can reply. Whatever there's no right or wrong answers over here. Let's see how the story is. It continues. So Peter has a match in afternoon. So you can say Peter had a tough competition, or Peter was the, managed, say asking everyone, and he got the team together. So anyhow, you can turn the story. Or in the afternoon also, in the afternoon it was raining. The match got postponed. I'm just giving you ideas. So he had to begin jogging in preparation for the match. Really nice observation, because you once you have reached at the afternoon, you just can't start playing. You have to do a warm up. Correct. You had to begin jogging in the preparation for the match. Nice observation. Next, what sentences might be come? Like I want to see what other sentences can come up. So try to middle. We are in the middle of the story, and then we have to conclude also. So what other sentences are you thinking about? Come on, guys, I'm waiting for your answers. He played well as he hoped, and the match was really going well. Nice, Annie. So Annie has started with middle of the story. So he went and he did the warm up, he did jogging, and then he played well. He as he hoped. Then what happened? Nice observation, Annie. Nice thing. Next, I want to see what happened. He sprained his leg while getting practice. Okay, Kiru, nice, good attempt, good try. And then what happened? Such that he gets fit and confident to overcome the opponents. Okay. So now we are at the point where Peter's legs get a little bit injured. Time he's not able, like he has this pain in his leg. So try to conclude now. Jump on conclusion. Okay, Peter fortunately lost the match. Okay, due to his pain. Then next, how try concluding. Okay, I'll do one work. I'll send the attendance link. Just a second. I have pasted the attendance link. Yeah, but you can unmute yourself and you can conclude. Okay, before we could know, Salodi, I am the referee and I blew the whistle for the score for the Peters opponent team. Okay, Then what happened? Who is gonna unmute and conclude the story? I'm waiting. The supporters were surprised not to see Peter playing because of an injury. Okay. So now the last sentences, this Peter is not able to play because of an injury. So let's conclude the story. How would you like to end the story? Mohammed, you wanna unmute yourself and you wanna tell how you would like to conclude the story? Or Peter, do you wanna take this opportunity? How would you like to end the story? So Peter, football match, getting injury, supporters are saying Peter is not able to play, and then how would you like to conclude the story? We did really good work. We have done a foundation, characters, when, where, whether. We have done a good work. It's just about the ending the story. So I would like to see how would you like to end the story. Think. So, guys, I'm waiting. How would you like to conclude the story? Okay, the support, but Peter didn't give up, and he said he can play. He only thought he only thought about the team's victory. Okay, so now Peter, there's a plot twist. Even because of his injury, Peter is playing, and he said he'll play, and then he thought about team's victory. Okay, one more sentence. Who would like to end the story? Who would like to conclude the story now? Peter has said that no, he's gonna play and he's thinking about team's victory. So, how would you like to see this story end? Who is gonna take that initiative? Okay, fine. Then I would conclude it. So then Peter, gave his heart and soul, sweat, and then he scored good scores for his team, and then he lifted the trophy and made everyone proud. Later on, his family came. They clicked pictures and celebrated the victory. So a happy ending. Happy Peter. So this is how you need to work on a story. So last one active, but Peter didn't give up and he said he can play. Okay.
So, ma'am, otherwise you can say, yeah,
Sorry.
because otherwise you can say Peter can play because it's injury. So for compassion for Peter, his team decided to play very well and make four score to end the game and win the game by first score in the other team.
Yeah, that's also one of the way to end the story. So there's, as I said, there's no right or wrong answers over here. There are stories about the writer's vision, right? So when we start a story, the end might be different for everyone. So there's no right. And the one which you said also is really good, and it goes as with the story flow. But this is how I choose. So it again depends on the writer's vision and imagination. So now you can take a picture of this slide, and this is an homework for you guys. This is one story completion. The topic, the story title is Magic Pot and Greedy King. You can read the story. There are few fill in the blanks, and then you have to read the next sentence and give an appropriate answer before that as well. So it's like, for example, when if I I'll do the first para for you guys so that you have an idea of how this works. Once upon a time, a farmer Gopi. So there is a farmer and the character name is Gopi. He had few acres of land. One hot afternoon, the poor farmer was digging the field. dash. Maybe I will find something else, thought Gopi. He continued to dig. So now, we know there's a Gopi, there's a farmer, village, afternoon, he's trying to dig a field. Then we don't know what it is, blank. Maybe I'll find something else, thought Gopi. He continued to dig. So I have to fill up the blank. So according to me, I'll say once upon a time, a farmer Gopi lived in a village. He had acres of land. One hot afternoon, the poor farmer was digging the field, and while he was digging the field, he found he got a sound touch, and he thought there might be something precious like diamond or gold below the land. So maybe he'll find something, and Gopi thought, and he continued to dig. So this is how I filled the blanks. So when I filled the blanks, I made sure that it makes sense for the first and the next sentence. So you have to read throughout the story and you have to fill in the blanks. This is one of the homework I'm giving you, and I will take one more session and I'm gonna ask everyone to fill the story and ask you guys to read out your version of magic pot and greedy king. So as I said, there is no right or wrong answers. It depends on your imagination and your creativity. So you can take a snip of it, or you can take a screenshot, you can do, and then you have to fill in the blanks. And when we meet next time, I'm gonna ask about this magic pot and greedy king. How does your story goes on? So till now, does anyone has any doubt on story completion, story picturing, how to say a story? Or you might even say, ma'am, I know a story, because sometimes what happens, you have a story but you're not confident enough, or you don't feel how to put across the story. So if anyone has any doubt, this is the time you can put in the chat. I'm here, I'll clear all your doubts regarding story topic. Anyone has any doubt? A quick yes or no in the chat would really help. Okay, no doubts. And he says no doubts. Anyone else? If you might be like, ma'am, I have a story, but I don't know how to put it across. Or any doubt, whatever doubts you have, there is no wrong or right questions over here. If you have any doubt, you can put it in the chat. I have also put the attendance link. I am going to put it again. So if anyone has not put marked their attendance, this is the time you can put your attendance in this link. Anyone has any doubt, a quick yes or no would work. Did everyone take a snip of the this slide? No doubt. Okay, fine, good. Okay, good. So thank you so much for attending today's class. I hope you guys got to learn. Yes, Annie, you can ask a question. We still have time. Anyone has anything to ask? Or okay, a question, does it need one word or one long sentence? sentence. So you need to write a sentence. The word will not work. It's not one word thing. You have to write a sentence, not that long. A short sentence if it makes sense, or if you think it requires 2-3 sentences, that also will work. Anyone, anything else? Can we end the class, or if anyone has any doubt? Thank you, Neil. Thanks so much. I hope you guys got to learn something new and something interesting. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, fine. I think then we are good to go. Thank you all for attending today's class, and thank you, Peter. Thank you so much.